Hey. Peace and power and elevation be to all you beautiful people out there. What's happening? What's going on? This your girl Tiffany coming through here live in effect. Live in effect. So today I'm going to get into the subject about integrative medicine. So I just want to say Happy New Year's to all of you. This is 2022. So today is January the 3rd, 2022. And I hope everybody is enjoying their new year so far. Okay. Yeah, we're still dealing with the pandemic. So out here in Georgia, they have a serious case of COVID. So the COVID has went number one out here. And of course, we got this Omicron and we have various type of disease like the Delta and all of that. So in this day and age, dealing with the virus, let me say this, dealing with a virus like COVID, we have to really make sure that we're careful. And at this point, vaccination is necessary. It's necessary, it's needed at all times. And I'm with that. I just want to share you guys with where I stand on my position. There's this concept called integrative medicine. A lot of people don't know about the integrative medicine, so I'm going to get into that. But I want to share something what I put on my Facebook page. Okay. And this is where I stand on my position. I'm going to explain it. And then I'm going to get into the definition of what's integrative medicine. Okay. So this is my page. And this is what I put. I am for prescribed medicine, vaccine, immunization, and insulin, but I'm also an advocate for homeopathy, dietary meals, and medicinal herbs as well. The primary medicine for the body is food and plants. Remember the saying, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Prescribed medication or vaccine wouldn't be any good if dieting or remedy is not incorporated. I support integrative medicine. So now I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Okay, so what is integrative medicine? All right, integrative medicine is the practice of medicine that focuses on the whole person and makes use of all appropriate therapeutic approaches, healthcare professional, and disciplines to achieve optimal health and healing. It combines state-of-the-art conventional medical treatments with other therapies that are carefully selected and shown to be effective and safe. The goal is to unite the best that conventional medicine has to offer with other healing systems and therapies derived from cultures and ideas both old and new. Okay? Then it goes on to say, the integrative medicine model recognizes the critical role the practitioner-patient relationships plays in a patient's overall healthcare experience, and it seeks to care for the whole person by taking into account the many interrelated physical and non-physical factors that affect health, wellness, and disease, including the psychosocial and spiritual dimensions of people's lives. Many people mistakenly use the term integrative medicine interchangeably with the terms complementary medicine and alternative medicine, also known as collectively as complementary and alternative medicine, or CAM. While integrative medicine is not synonymous with CAM therapies do make up an important part of the integrative medicine model. Okay. It says because by its very nature, the components of integrative medicines cannot exist in isolation. CAM practitioners should be willing and able to incorporate the care they provide into the practice in the best practices of conventional medicine. So, for example, CAM therapies such as acupuncture, yoga, meditation, and guide imagery are increasingly integrated in today's conventional treatment of heart disease, cancer, and other serious illness. And scientific evidence support this approach to health and healing. Coordinating all of the giving care to a patient is a cornerstone of the integrative medicine approach. Your primary care physician should work in tandem with such practitioner as your integrative medicine physician, integrative health coach, nutritionist, massage therapist, and acupuncturist. All right. So as you can see, integrative medicine, and peace to everybody in the chat. So integrative medicine is basically support what they call the conventional medicine and complementary medicine together, right? It's a combination of both. So that means when you talk about conventional medicine is dealing with prescribed medication like blood pressure pills, diabetes pills, also like surgeries, insulin, vaccination, immunization. That's conventional medicine, right? And complementary medicine would deal with drinking herbal tea, dealing with meditation, yoga, also of course exercising, and being on a certain type of dietary plan, etc. That's complementary medicine. So where I stand on is the reason why I support this heavily, and I think this should be a better approach to people, because when you have a combination of both things, it will work out for people's health and it gives them longevity to live. Because just sitting here totally relying on complementary medicine as far as just doing yoga and just taking herbs and stuff, it's not just gonna do it for it's gonna help some, but it's not going to do enough, especially when you're dealing with a aggressive disease like COVID. So just using complementary medicine, like just dealing with herbs, is not going to be enough, right? And just like conventional medicine is not going to be enough to do it by itself. So you can take pills all day, but it's only going to do what 50% of the work. You know what I'm saying? You can take insulin. That's going to only do 50% of the work. But if you combine the two together, it will make it more efficient. It will be more effective. Excuse me. Yeah, it will be more effective to do. You know what I'm saying? It'll make your health a lot easier. It'll make things a lot better because you got the two element combining. So this is why I support not only the fact that people should be prescribed medication and people should take vaccines or immunization, but also I support naturopathy and homeopathy, as I mentioned before. Now, if you guys can recall, going back to my previous videos that I did about African traditional medicine, okay? And I mentioned somewhere that the primary medicine is, right, the primary medicine for the body is food. Food is the primary medicine. Plants are the primary medicine, okay? Because if you don't incorporate proper nutrition in your diet, then your conventional medicine is not going to do any good for your body. Okay? The primary medicine for the body is food. So you have to incorporate a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, a lot of protein, mineral, iron, whatever. Okay? And it don't matter what type of diet you could be on. You know, you can do your vegan diet. Okay? Now, although in the beginning of the time period, and this is where the misnomer come in. People think that, oh, our folks was eating vegan diets. No, they were not. They are what you call omnivores. The omnivores are people who eat both meat and vegetables, okay, and fruits. So they were not just vegan. They did not do vegan diets, okay. That came down later on. You know what I mean? So if people want to become vegan, by all means, do that. If that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But you got to find what is the best source for you. You got to be careful what you incorporate into your vegan food. If you want to become a pescatarian, that means if you want to do fish diet, by all means, do that. If you want to become what they call a polyotarian, if I'm saying it right, the polyotarian is people who have a chicken diet. That's great. If you want to do keto diet, paleo diet. Keto diet is like low carbs diets and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you eat a certain portion of food and stuff, right? If you go and do that, that's fine. You entitled to do those diets, whatever works for you and your body. That's what's gonna work for you. So I'm not a type of person that discourage anybody that's on a diet plan. I'm not a person that's totally against anybody that's practicing naturopathy or homeopathy, because that's what our ancestors did. Before there was a concept of insulin, before there was a concept of pills and all of that, that's what they used. They used herbs. And to this day, herbs still have some form of benefit. Now, you got to be careful with people who sell that snake oil stuff to you. You know what I'm saying? People who claim to be herbalists, but they give you something and then it's going to mess around and hurt you in the long run. I grew up on naturopathy. Okay. I grew up on homeopathy diet. I mean, homeopathy healing remedy. By me growing up in the South, by me being raised by my grandmother, may God rest her soul, she fed me when I was sick. She used to make me take castor oil, right? The castor oil did something for your bowel movement. And the cod liver oil, is just as bad as the castor oil. As a matter of fact, the castor oil is a lot stronger. But the cod liver oil helps clear your mucus. It helps get rid of your cold and all of that. It helps, to clear the mucus up. So that's what my grandmother gave me. And then she also used to take red onions, but they look like purple onions, but they call them red onions. So she used to take the red onions, right? And she'll put it in a jar, and then she'll put some water in there, and then put a little sugar in there, okay? And let it sit for a little bit. Now, it be strong as hell. I ain't gonna lie, it tastes very strong. It has a very strong taste. But when I was getting really sick, she gave me that, and that helped me to actually clear that cold up. Also, she used to take olive oil and put olive oil on my skin. That helped clears the skin up. She used to take the fat back from the pig, right? She'll boil the fat back, and then once she get done boiling it, she'll put some of that fat into the aluminum foil and put it in the refrigerator. And when she put it in that refrigerator, she'll let it sit in that refrigerator for like a day or whatever, till it gets solid. And then once it gets solid, then she'll rub it on my skin. So that's the home remedy I grew up on. So I would not dare sit here and say, don't use home remedy. That's wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I would say that you cannot just solely rely on it. Like, you can't just, in this day and age, you can't solely rely on home remedy. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to blend it in with your medicine. And my grandmother had to do that because she was a diabetic. So by her experiencing diabetes, she had to take medication. She had to take her pills. She had to take insulin. She had to draw her blood sugar and all of that. But she also used some home remedy at that time. You know what I'm saying? Because she was from the country, and that's how it was. So again, you have to be able to know how to make it more effective, and you have to be very proficient with it. You have to be careful. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to go about knowing how to use it. And I would say this, before you even start to deal with home remedy medicine or complementary medicine, it's best to go to your physician, your doctor, and talk to your doctor and ask your doctor, well, what would be the best thing for you to do while you're on medication, while you're going through the treatment or whatever the case may be. Then that doctor can give you better suggestions and ideas of what you can do. You know what I'm saying? And then the doctor can also refer you to somebody who might be a nutritionist, somebody who might be a yoga practitioner or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good. It's always good to use both things. You need it in this time. But let's not sit here and tell people, oh, don't do conventional medicine, meaning that don't take prescription pills, don't take insulin or whatever. If they're living with a serious disease such as COVID, diabetes, or whatever, and that's what they have to go to, you can't stop them from that. You should not interfere with that. You should let them go and get that medication. They have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because if they don't, then something can seriously happen. Something can go wrong. So you shouldn't, if you are herbalist, you shouldn't tell people who got diabetes or high blood pressure not to take insulin and medication. You know what I'm saying? Because you mislead them. You should let them know, okay, if you on that, then hey, Happy New Year to everybody in the chat. If you're dealing with medication and you are diabetic, then continue to do what your doctor asks you to do. But the best thing you can do as somebody who might be a herbalist is to give bad advice, or just say, hey, give them some type of dietary plan, or give them some type of exercise they can do. Tell them, hey, you can get involved in meditation music or something like that. But don't ever tell somebody get off their medication. You know what I'm saying? Because people need their medicine. And if you somebody who's like for medication and all of that, who's like totally reliant on scientists or whatnot, that's cool. But do not tell people not to meditate. Do not tell people do not make their own herbs or remedies and things like that, or home remedies. Don't tell them not to do that, because that's something that they grew up on and they might want to use that home remedy. Okay? The only thing you can do is tell me, hey, be careful what type of remedy you trying to do. Be mindful of those remedies, but don't ever try to discourage an individual from doing those things. For anything, the smartest thing to do is to bring about the idea of integrative medicine. Incorporate those ideas to people. See, if more people can talk about that and bring that to the forefront, then it will make a lot more sense. It will balance itself out. But when you got conventional medicine versus complementary medicine, then it becomes a conflict. Why not say, well, you know what? Let's integrate those things together, because we're in a time where we need both. We not only need prescription medicine, but we also need healing as well. Okay? And I see so many people that kind of come down on folks who's into the meditation and the yoga, especially, and refer to them as being pseudo because this is what they practice or this is what they believe in, whatever. If that's what makes them whole, if that's what heals them, don't take that away from them. And if you think that if scientists are not looking into these things, then you are mistaken. Let's look at the fact that now they have a new, different scientific field, right? It's called contemplative science. Contemplative neuroscience. Contemplative neuroscience deals with the study of Buddhism, right? Which is an Indian of religion, Eastern religion. Excuse me. Let me try again. I said, so Buddhism is an Eastern religion that came out of India, but it's heavily practiced in China, but it came out of India. Okay. So what scientists are doing, particularly those who are neuroscientists, they are studying into the practice of Buddhism and how it helps the brain as far as meditation is concerned. As a matter of fact, I can show and prove about, let me look up contempt. Let's look up contemplative neuroscience. Okay. Okay, so if y'all can see my screen. All right, so I didn't know anything about this terminology until I was introduced to it a while back. All right, so contemplative neuroscience is the field in which neuroscience tools like the fMRI are used to study the effects of meditation. Founders of the field include Richard Davidson, Francisco Varela, and B. Alan Wallace, among others. It often emphasizes Buddhism approaches to contemplation and meditation and conflates meditation with various contemplative practices. It says one of the field's first high-profile public gatherings was the Mind and Life Institute's public dialogue held at MIT in 2003. Entitled Investigating the Mind, participants included the 14th Dalai Lama, Nobel laureate scientist Daniel Kahneman, if I'm saying his name right, Kahneman, and Eric Lander, director of the MIT Center of Genomic Research. This conference, attended by 1,200 scientists and contemplatives, marked the public birth of contemplative neuroscience in the USA. Now, at once upon a time, meditation was thought to be pseudo. It was thought to be a pseudo-scientific because, and it wasn't pseudo-scientific in the sense of it was a bad thing. It was just not enough. It was not. It was inconclusive. Let's just put it like that. It was inconclusive, and it was not enough research to absolutely to validate it. So it was based on subjectivity, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it was a bad thing. So let's remember that just because something is categorized as being pseudo does not necessarily mean that it's a bad thing or it's horrible, okay, or it's not. It doesn't have any benefits. Because some things it just does not have enough research or enough studies behind it to support it. So let's look up information about the meditation. Okay. Hold on. Let me look it up. It's on neuroscience meditation. Hold on. I don't think is this the website? Give me a moment, you guys. I don't think this is the website. Nah, I don't think so. Let's see. All right, so I'm looking for this website called Neuroscience News. I think that's the name of Neuroscience News. Hold on. All right. So all right, I'm gonna show you guys something. So let's start with this article right here. Okay, so it's kind of like just gets into the example, go into what I'm talking about. All right, so this is called, it says yoga and ethical education might boost the psychological effectiveness of meditation, right? This came out December the 4th of 2021. And it says new findings published in Frontiers in Psychology provide preliminary evidence that mantra meditation has a more positive impact when combined with other practices such as yoga. And it goes on to say, I'm a yoga teacher and researcher and very curious to find out how yoga and meditation work. From my personal experience, I know these practices can have quite intense effects, but I want to understand them scientifically as well. All right, said study author Karen Matko, a research associate at the Shimizu University of Technology. Okay, so the study was consist of 42 healthy participants with no regular yoga or meditation practices were randomly assigned to one or four groups: mantra meditation by itself, meditation plus physical yoga, meditation plus ethical education, and meditation plus yoga and ethical education. All right, so check this out. And it goes on to say, each treatment condition lasted for 8 weeks and involved learning mantra meditation. The key practice in this form of mantra meditation is silently repeating the chosen mantra while letting all other thoughts pass by and letting the breath flow naturally. The researcher explained. During the study, the participants completed daily assessments of their well-being, stress, and other subjective experiences. Most participants reported increasing levels of in well-being and a decreasing levels of stress over time. But the researchers found that the combined intervention tended to have more positive effects than mantra meditation by itself. Participants who received ethical education, which was basic on yogic philosophy, tended to have the largest increases in well-being. All right. Then it goes on to say it's a good idea to combine meditation with other practices like yoga and ethical education to enhance its effect. Combining meditation with yoga can have a quite relaxing effect, while meditating and reflecting on ethical values like truthfulness can improve your well-being. Matako told PsychPost. Now, PsychPost is a good website to go on. So you go on psychpost.org, you can find plenty of studies that's taking place as far as like scientific studies is concerned, and neuroscience and psychological, etc. But the researchers also observe a high degree of variability in participants' response. Not all people responded equally well to meditation, yoga, or ethical education. Matako explains some participants felt worse throughout the treatment, even though they appreciate their course 1 year later. Further research should look closer at long-term effects and who benefits from what type of practice. Okay. So as you can see, based on the experience on the studies, some people benefited from practicing yoga and meditation. There was others who didn't. You know what I'm saying? So it has different effects on people. Right? So you got to look at study sheds light on changes in brain connectivity associated with orgasmatic meditation. All right. So I think this is the one I was looking for right here. Yeah, this is the one I was looking for. So right here, it says new research provides preliminary evidence that an intimacy practice called orgasmatic meditation result in altered pattern of functional connectivity in the brain. The findings have been published in Frontiers in Psychology. Orgasmatic meditation is a paired practice between two individuals that focuses on the clitoral stimulation to facilitate a meditative experience. So, lead researcher Andrew B. Newberg, a professor at Thomas Jefferson University and research director at the Marcus Institute of Integrative Health, there go the word again, integrative health, told PsychPost there were two preliminary reasons he was interested in studying orgasmatic meditation. One is I have been studying the neurophysiology of religious and spiritual practices experiences for almost 30 years. He explained these studies have included more traditional practices such as meditation and prayer to more unique practices such as speaking in tongues and now orgasmatic meditation. Thus, it is part of my ongoing research into this whole field of study, sometimes referred to as neurotheology. And neurotheology is a field, actually. So neurotheology deals with how a spiritual belief system and certain religious ideology have an effect on people's brain activity and as far as like their character. So one day I'll get into that. I'll get more into it, but I have some materials on that. Anyways, the second main reason is that my original work looked at the relationship between religious rituals and how they evolve in human beings. So human rituals are fundamental to religious and spiritual tradition and include various ceremonies, holidays, and practices that are repetitive and help connect people to each other and to the specific stories and teachings of the tradition. Okay? Our hypothesis has been that human rituals evolved from animal rituals, and we have tried to track areas of the brain involved in such rituals, Newberg said, but animal rituals are primary mating rituals. Thus, there should be a strong link between mating or sexual experience and spiritual experiences. My hope was that this study of OM would be an important link to support this idea. Okay. So, as you can see, it deals with intimacy, right? I know many of you heard about what's called sexual tantra. So, or tantric sex. So, tantric sex is basically supposed to be like the study of how you exchange energy with each other when you engage into sexual activity, when you get intimate. So it's like a form of meditation, but it deals with the intimacy level of it. So that's what tantric sex deals with. Now, that might be considered to be pseudo, okay? However, but it's very similar to this study here. All right. So it's very similar to it. But yeah, but that's what tantric sex deal with, is like the intimacy level and how to exchange energy per se. All right. But I don't want to put too much of my focus on that as far as sex is concerned, because I'm not trying to turn this into the sexual topic. But anyways, anyway, let's go ahead and continue. So as you can see, the researchers recruited 20 healthy women who had been regularly performing the practice. The women then invited a male partner to participate in the study along with them. Functional magnetic resonant imaging was used to examine functional connectivity after 15 minutes of OM practice and after a controlled condition in which the participants were in the same room and positioned the same way. So it goes on to say, compared to the control condition, Newberg and his colleagues observed that the OM practice was associated with increased functional connectivity between several brain regions. Such findings in the period immediately following a practice implies some degree of a lasting effect of the practice on brain function, even when the person is no longer performing the practice, the researchers noted. So it goes on to say, for both men and women, the OM practice was associated with altered connectivity involving the left superior temporal lobe and the frontal lobe and anterior cingulate and insula. For women, the practice was also associated with altered connectivity involving the cerebellum, the lamus, inferior frontal lobe, posterior parental lobe, and angular gyrus, etc., etc. So, all right. So, anyways, basically, it's the study that shows how spirituality and the concept of sexuality and meditation is all combined together. So, what you dealing with is what we would call sex education, sexual health, etc. But I'm just basically showing you like how meditation has been studied for quite some time in the scientific field, okay? And how it has been included as part of the integrative medicine. All right. So, anyways, you guys can also look at this website. It's called breastcancer.org. So, what is complementary medicine? As you can see, it goes into the difference between complementary medicine and conventional medicine. I already explained that earlier, so that would be very redundant to keep going back over and over again. All right. But anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about. So yeah, I think that we should just try to incorporate those things, you know what I'm saying? Like encourage people so that way people won't feel like, oh, they can't do this, they can't do that, because you got the skeptics out there that's saying this is pseudo, that's pseudo, woo. And then you got the people over here that's saying that, oh, nah, you shouldn't trust that because that's the work of the white man, that's the work of the Western culture, et cetera, et cetera. So we have to be able to say, okay, bring the two together and balance it out. So that way it can be proficient and it can work out for the best for the individual. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. If you can make these things work out for the individual, believe it or not, that person can be that person can feel like they're more secure and they have a better chance of living longer when they learn how to combine the two. So it's nothing wrong with, I'm gonna say this again, it's nothing wrong with conventional medicine. Okay. It's nothing wrong with complementary medicine. All right. You need both of them in this time period. You need prescribed medication, immunization, insulin, but you also need healing, meditation, spirituality, exercising, etc., proper diet, nutrition, all of that. You need these things. So bring the two together, put them in the same arena. Okay. You got to bring the two together. All right, then. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for today. I will go back. I will come back live later. Hopefully, everything works out. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in, watching. This your girl Tiffany, and I'm getting ready to log off. Peace and power, elevation be to all of you, and deuces. All right, take it easy.